most talked about findings in all of ancient Egyptian history was the remarkable story of the Egyptian pharaoh King Tutankhamun's tomb. Before the year 1922, King Tutankhamun, most notably known as King Tut, was only a myth, and not one of the most notably known pharaohs in recent history. There were many famous pharaohs in Egyptian history, such as the early pharaoh King Khufu of the Third Dynasty, builder of the largest pyramid on earth, the Great Pyramid, or even his more famous son, Shephren, also known as Khafre, builder of the most elegantly constructed pyramid on earth, known as Khafre's Pyramid. Even the great pharaoh Thutmose, who famously bridged the gap between Upper and Lower Egypt. But no, this is the story of a little-known king, actually one of little significance. In fact, he was such of little importance that his reign only lasted a short time, and it was cut short by an untimely death. During his reign, he didn't really bring any major changes to Egypt. One of the reasons for that is that King Tut was very young and very sick. He took the throne when he was only about 9 years old and suffered from a variety of serious health conditions. He was deformed. He had a huge club foot that destabilized his posture, so much so that he couldn't walk well and had to walk on crutches. This king, bringing little or no major fanfare in ancient Egyptian historical events of note, and in his short reign offered no real importance and no real influence on Egyptian society in any way. But what we do know about him is that the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb preserved the ancient Egyptian culture and legacy so well that we happen to learn more about the ancient Egyptian culture from King Tut's tomb than all of the information that was available to us before. The greatness and splendor of ancient Egypt and the marvels of everyday Egyptian life was finally preserved in illustrious splendor. All of the fine details preserved so extremely well that it gave us new interpretations about the history of ancient Egypt, and it greatly expanded our knowledge of Egyptian life so well that the discovery of this single tomb became one of the most important historical discoveries of our time. With the introduction of this great discovery of King Tutankhamun, we were able to peer into the greatness of a long-forgotten past, a past that we would have never known and would have never experienced. This is the story of King Tutankhamun, his past, his present, and his afterlife. King Tutankhamun, born circa 1341 BC, died circa 1323 BC, also referred to as King Tut. He was an Egyptian pharaoh who was the last of his royal family to rule during the end of the 18th dynasty. His rule lasted from circa 1332 BC to circa 1323 BC. During the New Kingdom of ancient Egypt, his father, believed to be the the pharaoh Akhenaten, one of the most famous figures of the ancient Egyptian world, recently identified as the mummy found in tomb KV55. His mother is known to be his father's sister, as marrying within the family was greatly practiced at that time. It is debated as to whom Tutankhamun's real mother was. Was it Queen Nefertiti, which was herself a major figure in Egyptian culture? Or was it another woman, identified through DNA testing as an unknown mummy, referred to as the younger lady, who was another mummy found in tomb KV35, along with the pharaoh Amenhotep II. Some scholars say that this person, the younger lady, is also Nefertiti. Whomever his real mother was, Tutankhamun and his family sure had their share of controversy during his reign and even before it. Tutankhamun took the throne at an early age, 8 or possibly 9 years of age. Under the close guidance of his eventual successor named A, simply spelled A-Y, to whom he may have never been related. He married his paternal half-sister, Ankhesenenum. During their marriage, they lost 2 daughters, one at 5 to 6 months of pregnancy, and the other shortly right before birth. These fetuses have been preserved and mummified and was found in the tomb along with Tutankhamun. Modern DNA testing of the fetuses has determined that they are indeed the offspring of King Tutankhamun. His names Tutankhaten and Tutankhamun are thought to mean living image of Aten and living image of Amun, with Aten replacing Amun after Akhenaten's death. A small number of Egyptologists believe that the translation may be incorrect and closer to the life of Aten is pleasing, or one perfect of life is Aten. One of the biggest accomplishments of Tutankhamun's reign was the restoration of ancient Egyptian tradition and religions after the religions were removed by his father Akhenaten. King Tut enriched and endowed the high priest of the 2 most important cults of the land. And he also began restoring old monuments damaged during the previous Amarna period. He reburied his father's remains in the Valley of the Kings and relocated the capital of Egypt from Amarna back to Thebes. These acts were greatly favored by the high priest, giving Tutankhamun a positive image amongst his people.